Welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, depending on when and where you see this. We're going to have another session of this mother's knot, and we're just kind of bringing it home now. I did the frame a couple days ago off camera because I kind of wanted to experiment. I wanted to see what it would look like. I had a vision in my head and I thought that I would like it, and I do. But I wanted to experiment with it off camera and just kind of work on details and stuff before continuing and doing the rest of it on camera. So what we're basically going to do today is just do what was done up here. We're just going to finish up the frame. So we're just going to finish the frame here. Again, like I always do, I'm just going to kind of do the basics, and then off camera I'll finish all the fine details. But we're going to go through today. I have basically I'm just going to show you one of my techniques that I like to use a lot, and you'll see it a lot of my work. It's stippling. I don't know why, but I absolutely love doing stippling. It's a really quick and kind of easy way to create a sense of texture and create contrast and stuff like that. So, all right, where are we? We're just gonna basically go in, and I'm not really pushing hard, to be honest. I'm just like randomly, get a good grip on it so you're not all over the place, and you don't want it to go like that. You just want, and sometimes you have to start slow. You're not putting too much thought into this. You're really not. You're just really random. And if you go back, if you see, I got a couple of spaces, just plop a dot. You're just trying to do it sort of even, and you're just going to go around and plop dots in and around all the foliage. That's kind of important. You want to make it look some kind of realistic, right? That helps it look like the foliage is in front. And we're just going to keep on going. I have to make sure I'm in frame. Now I'm going to do something else. I'm going to add to this just a little bit. So this is fine, but it looks a little bit one-dimensional. So to give it a little more texture, you just go in every so often, randomly, and you press a little harder and put a darker spot. Just random. You're not thinking too much about it. It's just random. So it adds a little bit more texture to it. It brings it to life a little bit. And then you go back to just lightly tapping. Basically, that's what you're doing, tapping. And I like to use this pointed nib. For me, this works better than anything else. It's like using a pencil, a sharp pencil. So, and don't forget to go in and do all the in-between areas. In between. And I think when I'm done with this, which will be today for sure, when I'm done with this, I'm going to probably attach some kind of a hanger on the back of it, maybe a triangle hanger, or I don't know, something like that, to so that it can be hung up on a wall. And the other thing that I noticed, and one of the reasons why I did do it off camera, is like when you look at it like this, it looks a little too much going on. So I decided to do some shading, which I'm not going to do today on camera. I'm going to go back later and do it. But I shaded this very lightly with a shading nib, and that created this color here, and it helps kind of smooth it out a little bit, so it's not, you know, so that the designs that I have here will show up, so it helps them show up better. And yeah, so I did some experimenting. Like I had said in a previous video, I kind of letting this piece just tell me what it wants. I kind of have a vision in my head, and I'm going roughly with that, and just sort of letting this tell me what it needs. So, and I'm looking forward to getting this done, because this has been, I think, 2 years in the making with this, since I first drew it out and decided I wanted to create a woodburn plaque. It's just, you know, life and other projects I was working on, and just sort of got in the way of it getting done. But, you know, things get done when they're supposed to, right? There's a reason why I had to wait this long to get this project and a bunch of other projects that have been sitting around in my cabinet for a couple of years. And I've been working on them a little bit here and there, but just picking at them and hoping that one day they get done. So this can be a little tedious. I mean, I'm not going to lie, it can be, you know, it can be a little tedious, or it can be relaxing. It depends on how you look at it. But you're just going in and you're just adding dots, and like I said, you don't have to think too much about it. It's, you know, not rocket science. You're just making impressions in the wood that look like dots. And make them random. Do not make them, don't give them a pattern, make them random. So if you find yourself going in a line, move it around a little bit. Don't be afraid to move it around a little bit. I'll go back in and put some dots, some darker dots in. And again, later on, I'm going to go back in. I'm not sure if I'll do it. I might do it in this video. I'm going to darken these corner designs here. They're going to get darker. There's a piece in here that's going to get darker, and then I have the borders for the frame that I'm going to go in and color in. So we'll see. I don't know exactly what I'm doing on camera today. I don't want to make a really long video. So I had a pretty decent morning. I went out for a walk this morning because God knows I need it. And then I came home and I ate a healthy breakfast. Had some cream of wheat, which I absolutely love. Anybody else love cream of wheat? I love cream of wheat. And I need the, it's good for your heart and stuff, and I have very high cholesterol right now, so I'm trying to find ways to eat a little bit better where I can. All right, let's see. We're getting there, we're getting there. Yeah, so I had myself a healthy breakfast. I haven't had a lot of coffee yet, so my hands aren't too shaky this morning. You know, that's a problem for me. I get shaky pretty easy. I get the shakes. I have tremors. And I've been doing pretty good with my artwork the last couple of weeks, so I'm really, really happy about that because I really, really missed doing this stuff. I was doing other things. I was writing blogs and working on my website and working on my social media and marketing and all that kind of stuff. But and then I was creating some. I created a couple of fairy houses and a couple of faux floral designs and a couple of new candle holders, a couple of like fairy themed candle holders. So I've been very, very, very busy, and artwork just wasn't in the cards. But I decided to carve out some time to get it done. And my husband's been harping on me for a while about starting videos on, doing things on video, so I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. So let me know in the comments if you actually like these videos. You know, go back and watch a few of them. Let me know in the comments if you like them, what you like about them, what you don't like, what you think I should do. I have a few of them where I put them to music instead of talk. Then I have a few of them here where I'm talking through and just kind of shooting the breeze while I'm working. So, you know, let me know in the comments what you think. And all right, we'll get into the end of this. And please share, you know, like and share. That helps get my stuff seen more. And you know, eventually it'll help me be able to do this stuff more. That's kind of one of the reasons why I don't do more artwork, is because I'm working on other things that I'm trying to get moving so I can actually earn some kind of an income. All right, so that's the stippling effect, and you can kind of see where I stopped before. And again, I'm going to go back in later with this little nib, if I can get my fingers wrapped around it, this little nib to do the shading. And I'll basically just, you know, go in, use the side and the corner to get that shading in there in a light color, and that'll help sort of tone down the dots. And yeah, so all right, now what's the next step? I think the next step is we're going to go in and we're just going to lay down a little bit of color in here, continue this border, get this done. I forget what tone I used for this, so may have to change it, or not, maybe not. I was trying not to make this part of the frame too dark because I wanted this design here to pop. So if this is too dark, this part's too dark, this is just going to get lost. So let's see what we can do here. We're just, and this is, you know, we're just shading it in. And probably off camera, I will go in and I will sharpen all of these lines like I did here. I'll go in and I'll really sharpen lines. So I'm not worried about too much about that kind of detail right now. I'm just laying down some shading. And then I'll go back and do the details. So here we go, we're going through, this is fairly quick part of it. I'm really looking forward to getting this done. I am, like I said, I'm so sorry that it took me so long to do this. And I'm thinking about getting back into drawing too. I drew, when I was in college, I drew a couple of castles. I just found a couple of really cool images of castles online, and I just took them and kind of tweaked them and made them my own and drew them. And I have a fascination with castles, so I would like to go back to doing some of that kind of drawing, and I don't know where that leads, but you know, I don't know if that would be for my business. It might be just for me, but yeah, I'm fascinated with castles, absolutely fascinated with them. One of the plates that I have coming up, I don't know when I'm going to get to it, does have a castle ruin on it. So, alright, let me turn this around so I can work a little bit better with it. And there we go. Yeah, one of my plates, I don't have it here on my counter with me, but one of my plates has a castle ruin on it. I don't know when I'm going to finish it because I drew it and I started wood burning it, and it just feels like it's missing something. Something's missing. It doesn't feel like it's finished, so I just kind of put it aside, and I'm going to pick at that, and when I get these done, I'll have a little more time to wrap my head around it and figure out what's wrong with it and what I need to add in. And then I have another plate which will not be for sale. It is just mine. It's for my Irish ancestry. It's the pear tree for the McCluskey family name. So I'll be wood burning that as well when I get some time. My mother died in 2020, and I had intended on getting it done then, but as sort of a memorial to her, but I never really did. Last few years have been really rough, and 2020 was really rough, really rough. So, trying to cut myself some slack. So this will be finished today, and once I finish here and then I go and I do the details, what'll happen is I'll clean it up, and then I'll put some kind of varnish or clear finish on it to protect the artwork, and then put maybe a triangle D hook on the back of it, or some kind of hook on the back of it so that it can be put on a wall. But it could just as easily be put on a stand on a table or something too, but probably look better on a wall. So I'm curious to know if anybody else out there does wood burning. What kind of tools do you use? I'm actually looking at some point to invest in a better tool, a different kind of tool than this, and with different kinds of settings and things like that. I'm looking to start experimenting and expanding my drawing skills and burning skills. And so if you do wood burning and you have any tips for me, I'd love to hear them. That and wood too. What kind of wood do you use if you're a wood burner? What do you use? Pine. I've heard people use pine. And I think I said before that I'd like to start maybe combining colored pencils with wood burning. That might be a really interesting thing to do. So, yeah, I have a lot of ideas. You know, creative people usually do, right? I have tons of ideas, I just don't know when I'm going to, you know, get them done. I could live 100 lifetimes and not be able to do all the things I want to do, right? But this month it's all about just finishing the things I already started, because it's about time. If you're not following me on Facebook, I'm spending more time on Facebook now than anywhere else. So you can find me on Facebook at Dye Studio Designs. I'm on Instagram as well. I'm spending a little less time on Instagram these days because of their algorithms. I am on Pinterest, but you know, Pinterest is spotty for me. But you can find me on Facebook the most. So, you know, if you want to follow my social media, I post things that I'm working on, things that I have worked on. Sometimes random things that inspire me, whatever. So I would love to connect with you. I'd love to connect with other creative people. If you're somebody who creates stuff. Alright, and of course, here's my website. Please stop by my website, check out my blog, take a look and see what's going on. Thinking about adding another page to my website that is sort of like a what's happening now, what's going on now kind of thing, where I put links to these videos and announce my latest blogs, talk about my latest projects, things like that. So I'm kind of in my head, I'm trying to work that out, what that would look like, what would people like to see on that page. I want it to be something useful to me, useful to you. So I'm playing with ideas. I think I'm going to have to darken that just a little bit. It seems like it's a little darker than, or a little lighter than what I did before, but as per usual, I'll go back later and fix that. You can always go darker, but if you go too dark, you can't go back. So I always err on the side of caution when I'm doing this stuff. If I'm not 100% sure, I go lighter first. And then I can go back later and darken it. All right, we got one little bit left for this part of the frame. When I was doing this, doing the upper part of the frame, I actually got a little carried away with my hand motions and ended up going out of the line a little bit. And I just took a little piece of fine, where is it? Fine sandpaper and just sanded it out, and it came out. You don't even know where it is. I'll give you a hint. It's over here, and you can't even see it. So, you know, it wasn't dark anyway. It wasn't a dark, thankfully it wasn't a dark mark. But it happens. I just got a little too carried away, and I was moving fast, and my hand just did what it wanted. Alright, let's finish this up, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do next. And I think what we're going to do next is just darken. Yeah. All right, so what I'm going to do next to kind of finish up, just to finish up the video, is I'm just going to go ahead and darken these. And let me set my burner a little bit darker. I'm going to go ahead and darken this design here, which will only take me a couple of minutes, and then go in here and make sure I get this done, this little piece. They're there really just to kind of break up the space a little bit. I just felt like it needed something. So, and I think it will be done once I go in and I sharpen all the lines like I did here and do the shading. I think I'm just going to add a couple of little darker lines. I'm not going crazy, but just kind of give it a little bit extra something in there. And this piece will be done. So that's fun. And it's I'm really loving this piece, to be honest. I loved the drawing that I did. So this piece is I think I said in a previous video, I did this for Mother's Day a couple of years ago. But sometimes it takes a while to get projects done, right? You know, go in off camera and really get in there and sharpen these lines. But you get the idea. You can see where I'm going with it. All right, yeah, I got it set pretty high, because this is like supposed to be one of the darker. But even so, it really just doesn't get much darker than this, to be honest. So I don't know if other wood burners, if a better wood burner would get darker. I don't know. So that's why I'm asking if anybody has any kind of insight. Oy, these corners are hard to do. So if you're wondering how I do such fine line work when my hands shake so bad, this process of just holding, bracing like that does wonders for me. When I feel like I'm going to lose control, I stop, lift the burner, and just rest my hand on my wrist so that I have more control over what I'm doing. That's a little tip for anybody who's got really shaky hands. I can tell you it is a challenge. And I've had to learn to just deal with it. So I don't know if you can see they're starting to pop. They're starting to look a little bit more visible. And then once I do the shading, it'll be even better. So art to process. There's layers upon layers upon layers of stuff, and you know, you just trust yourself. It's all about trusting your vision, and if you screw up, you screw up. Try again. Try something else. There are definitely pieces that I did where I stepped back afterwards and I'm like, oh, I should have done this and I should have done that, and you know what? It's okay. It's a learning experience. It's how you get better. Alright, let's give this a little bit of light shading in here. I forgot about that. Okay, we're going to do one more and then I'm going to wrap up the video. I'm just going to tighten this up, get this a little bit darker, and then I'll wrap up the video. So the next series of videos that I'm going to do are going to be these small plaques that I've been experimenting with. God knows what I'm going to do with them. I don't know if I'm going to sell them. I might just hold on to them and sell them like in... It's not something I really want to put on my website because it might cost you more to ship it. The cost of shipping these days. I'm joking, but cost of shipping is really high. And these are just little things. I don't know. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. Okay. But I'll show you before I end this video. I will show you a couple of the plaques that are going to appear in the next round of videos. I actually posted a couple where I had started them back in November. So there are a couple posted already if you haven't seen those. So I have this on the same temperature, but I'm just pressing lighter. So sometimes you don't even have to change the temperature of your burner. Just like with a pencil, you just press lighter and you get a lighter color. and press darker, and you get a darker color. It's amazing what you can do with simple tools, just simple tools. You don't need fancy stuff sometimes to do really cool stuff. Let's see, with these darker bits, I am definitely pressing harder. All right, we are going, we got just a few more. And I think we're there. Did I do this one? Don't remember. We'll do it again. All right. So, let me put this down. Let me turn this around. So this is what we did today. And again, I'm going to go in and shade this and then sharpen up these lines for the border, darken that a little bit and sharpen that up a little bit. And maybe add a couple of little tiny details to the rest of it. But this is the plate. I probably won't do any more videos on this. I'll just post the finished version on my social media, on Facebook and Instagram. So definitely, if you're not already checking me out there, definitely pay that a visit, because you'll be able to see maybe a little more of what I do. So these pieces will be on my next video. So I have flowers that I have to burn. There's several different versions. I have absolutely no idea what these are going to be for. I was thinking about putting them in maybe taking two or three of them, putting them on like a picture frame kind of a situation. I don't know. They're an experiment, and you'll see more of them in the incoming videos. Okay, so I think I'm going to wrap it up for today. This was, wow, 38-minute video. So I'm going to wrap this up. We're going to call it done for today. I'll give you one last look at the plate before we go, and then to see the finished product, you'll have to go on my Facebook or website. But there we go. All right, so until next time, hope everybody has a great day, and keep creating. Bye-bye.